Well, the founder of the Angel Zoe Foundation, Dr. Asomaning entry says a lockdown must be sectorial. A complete lockdown, according to her, will be too costly. She spoke on the Super Morning Show with Kojang Singh on Joy FM.
Different leaders who are leading this battle, including our own president. So you can look at UK, for instance. I think they started off with the belief that there's something called herd immunity. It's a strategy they tried, but I think they've abandoned it. And it's essentially about how people can develop immunity. Two ways to a disease. That's one by they developing their own immunity to the disease. That means you need to catch it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you catch a cold, you need to catch it, and then it runs out.
And then your antibodies will
kick in.
Yeah.
And then the other is vaccination. But that has a lot of implications. It means that those who would get the disease and are not able to develop those immunity levels to fight it would die.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had leaders, some countries, who would give different information to the public, and then the health experts will actually give also different information.
So they were lying to the public, basically.
I do not know if I'll call it lie. I think they were massaging the gravity of the problem.
Right.
And in a war zone as we are in, I don't know if you're giving us half-truths is really going to do the trick.
Which countries are you thinking of?
I mean, if you follow CNN, you saw how President Trump would say one thing, he would call on the health experts, they would come in and they'd say contradictory things. And so in that stead, we have different approaches. We've had some presidents who actually went down to the people to, show solidarity. We saw that with China.
Yeah.
Yes, and for me, he was risking a lot because he's not a young man. He falls in the vulnerable group.
Xi Jinping.
Yes, and then he still reached out. I think our president is doing a mixture of both, of managing our panic, giving us the information as the experts are advising. And I like that part about the approach. And so, but I see that as very incremental, which is also okay, because sometimes you need to give people the harsh reality of it, that look, no matter what's going to happen, there's going to be some collateral damage, which would come to. Because at this point, I don't know anyone who wants to be a president at this point. But you are going to have to decide on decisions which exist between a very undesirable tension between economics and then social. And that's where we are now.
Right. I even put it as economics and health, but I guess yours is more encompassing economics and social. So in the end, what should a nation choose if it comes down to a choice between the two, economics or social?
We need to understand the demands of both. And let's not kid ourselves. No matter what decision we make, would have collateral damage. The outcomes may or may not be what we expected or desired, but we pray for positives. What it just means is that I think on a sister platform 2 weeks ago, I stated that I was expecting to see part lockdown or partial lockdown, and I still stand by this. But I am standing by a partial lockdown and saying that the emphasis should be on some key sectorial lockdowns.
Okay.
We need to look at the key touch points where contamination can happen, and may have happened already. Let's not kid ourselves. Some cases will pass through the cracks. We will not find them.
Yeah.
You know, it's as with all the cases in all the other countries. They won't be new to us. And so I expect that as of now, we are going to have to look at the economics of it. We have in this country the corporates, the SMEs, the MSMEs. You know, we have different categories of businesses who have been struggling already in the past 18 months. Some are recovering, and some have not. And if we say a full or a total lockdown at a point like this, we are essentially talking about crippling them. Let's be very sure of this. Beyond COVID-19, there would still have to be a country that has business economics, and then existing, especially as we are a country where we do a lot of commerce than manufacturing, and we are trying to change the narrative. So if an immediate total lockdown for me spells some form of doom,
right,
I still would want to stand by what I mentioned a few weeks back to say that sectorial, for instance, because I'm still thinking, I've worked in the ministry's environment before, and I've seen a number. You see in the mornings and in the evenings, you see quite a huge number of people who are transported through our public transport system to their various homes.